皆様、こんにちは。BIMM インスティテュート音楽教育について今改めて考えてみましょうのオンラインセミナーにご参加くださりありがとうございます。SIUK 留学コンサルタントの広田と申します。本日は BIMM インスティテュートよりミュージックパフォーマンスコースリーダーのリズさん、担当官のジェイクさんとアリスさんにお越しいただいております。まずは BIMM インスティテュートよりプレゼンテーションをしていただきます。でその後で質疑応答のお時間も設けますので、ご質問のある方はどんなことでも結構ですので、ぜひチャットボックスよりご遠慮なくメッセージをください。メッセージは、プレゼンテーションの途中でも大丈夫です。で、質問に関しては英語でも日本語でもどちらでも結構ですので、ぜひどんどん質問をいただければと思います。So now is the time for the presentation. Over to you, Liz. Thank you.
Amazing, thank you. Hi everybody, welcome to your course sort of talks today to tell you a little bit about the talks that we have, or the courses that we have at BIMM London and across our BIMM colleges. I'm going to share my screen with you now. We have actually just yesterday had announced that we are now using the name BIMM University because we've been giving university status, which has been fantastic. We've gone through sort of a long process to really sort of get to that point and to really be given that prestigious university title. So we're super happy to be able to share that with you today because that came in yesterday. So fantastic news. So just in case some of you missed the last webinar, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the school, our colleges, what we do at BIMM in our music colleges. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the different types of courses that you can do at BIMM and perhaps the different pathways of the industry that you might go down. We do a number of different courses at BIMM, both undergraduate and postgraduate. The majority of my our focus today is on the undergraduate, but I know there are some of you that are looking at postgraduate, so we can perhaps give you a bit of an overview of that as well. So yes, let's get cracking. Let's go to here. Are you going to? Here we go. So we're just going to talk a little bit about kind of these topics today. So overviewing on the history and background, the locations, the courses, the equipment, masterclasses and internships, and really just kind of looking at the main points of kind of the differences of the courses that you can do. So this is just a little bit about our growth over the last sort of 10 years. We are now the biggest provider of creative arts in Europe. So with our colleges in London, Bristol, Dublin, Manchester, Berlin, Birmingham and Hamburg, we have, which are just our music colleges, we have sort of over 7,000 students now. We also have screen and film school and performers colleges as well. So really branching out into the creative industries. So really kind of over 35 years experience, and we have that wider network of colleges, as you can see there, including actually Northern Ballet School as well, which really give us that wider network of cross-college collaboration and cross-course collaboration as well, which is really exciting. These are the music school cities that we have in the UK and Germany. Myself and Jake actually have been based at London, but we've got Bristol, Manchester, Brighton, Birmingham, Berlin, Hamburg and Dublin as well. So that's really gives you an idea of the differences of the cities we can do. And actually you can, as part of your study, if you're studying on one of our undergraduate courses, you can do a study transfer year. So for example, you could begin your course in London and then you might decide that you want to go to Berlin for your second year and then return to London for your third year, or you might decide to go start at Brighton, go to Manchester and then come back. So it's really nice that we have the opportunity to offer that to our students now, just so that you can see different parts of the UK and Germany and different music scenes and kind of what creative hubs each of them are and how they're different. This is just the overview of the courses that we do. We have got some level 3 courses, so some diploma courses as well, which are 1 year at the London campus and 2 years at our other campuses. We have undergraduate degrees, which is what we're going to focus on today, and we have single honours and joint honours, and we'll touch on obviously the sort of what the differences and what they are in just a moment. But in terms of topics, we have popular music performance, and you can study a sort of specialise in drums, bass, guitar, vocals and keys. You have songwriting, you have music production, music business, event management, and music marketing, media and communication. So really, really, really broad topics there as well. And looking at that postgraduate course as well, the MA Popular Music Practice, there are different pathways that you can choose, and you can go down the entrepreneurship pathway, a performance pathway, a production pathway, or a composition pathway to work towards your MA. And we do also have an MA in the learning and teaching in the creative industries as well. So the facilities at the campuses are absolutely amazing. We've got real kind of fantastic, and I guess Jake might touch on this a bit more of the studios and stuff, but we've got sort of purpose-built live rooms and recording studios. All of our equipment is from the leading brands, as you can see there. We have high-tech Mac suites, so all of the equipment that you will need to really do your course and that really get that sort of specialised software or to be successful in your studies, we have on site, which is really, really great for you guys to really have accessibility to that. The colleges are open usually 6 or 7 days a week, so you can go in and in your free time use and work on the equipment as well. And I would absolutely recommend either going onto the website to have a virtual tour of each campus and what you think you might like, or obviously it is great if you can come and visit one of the campuses that you're thinking of going to. Our lecturers are all very much, sort of including myself and Jake, everybody who teaches you at BIMM, and actually a lot of people who work behind the scenes as well in our admissions team, our academic team, are all leading and working in the music industry. So they are up to date. We have real world insights. They have sort of a mentorship program. We do artist development tutorials with them, and it's a really amazing sort of pathway for networking and mentoring. So when I studied at BIMM a very long time ago, as did Jake, we really saw that come through with our teachers giving us sort of opportunities and supporting our transition into professional life. And it's brilliant now that we can kind of do that with our students and really get them to sort of that next level of their career. And that's just some of the people that they've worked with there. So Blur, Rag and Bone Man, Oasis, Rolling Stones, Stevie Wonder, just really kind of big names that you can see that you recognise within the industry. And masterclasses as well, not only as part of your course, you have sort of extracurricular activities like things like masterclasses and workshops, and these are from both performers and non-performers. So it can be, perhaps you can see some of the names there like Stormzy, Fatboy Slim, Michael Eavis, who is the founder of Glastonbury, but we also have one sort of from behind the scenes, so I guess sort of real sort of marketing companies, production companies. We have Music for Sync, publishing houses coming in to support you to really give an insight into all areas of the industry. And they're really great. They're very interactive, and you really get to kind of sit down and talk to these people and find out an insight into what they do and how they've become successful. And yet, just some of our alumni here as well. We've got sort of really kind of credible stuff. This is from mainly the performance courses actually with the alumni, but I have to say the alumni across the board is absolutely fantastic. But you can see some of our performance alumni there. So we've got Ella May, who's one of our London students. George Ezra was one of our Bristol students, I believe. James Bay, I believe, was Brighton, I think. Izzy Bizou was London. Fontaine's DC is Dublin, who are doing amazingly at the moment. They're doing really, really well and seem to be blowing up. And just hopefully some names on there that you will remember. And Mimi Webb is actually one of our recent Brighton graduates. And just some things about employability, because this is really what we are focused on at BIMM, is actually getting you guys out there and getting you guys out there into the industry. So as it says here, 86% of BIMM students are in work 6 months after graduation. 83% of those graduates are working in the creative industries, and 66% of graduates say they found work through a contact they made at BIMM. So I have to say I definitely can agree with this. A lot of the work that I do now really has been paid by my time at my studies, and really just the connections that I made, even without realizing it, that really started to build. So this is great to see that our students are really, really going out there and going sort of really quickly and successfully into that industry. And also as well, this 2-year post-study work visa now available under the undergraduate sort of the graduate immigration program. So once you finish, you have your 2 years post-study visa to stay in the UK as well, which is really exciting. And we all know that obviously after the pandemic, the creative industries, I think all industries have been really challenged. However, just to give you some statistics, that the creative industries are one of the quickest and fastest growing industries at the moment out there, which is quite contrasting into the opinion sometimes that we kind of get when we talk about the work in the music industry. But they're worth over £100 billion a year. That's 6% of the UK economy. 1 in 10 jobs are in the creative industry, which is 700,000 more than financial services. So that's a really great statistic to kind of see actually in perspective of that. Over 289,000 creative businesses are in the UK, which is 12% for the whole country. And the creative industry's value has grown by 53%, employment by over 30% since 2010. And 87% of creative jobs are at low or no risk of being replaced by future automation. There's not a lot of industries actually that could really say that, with these kind of new innovations coming through. And this is fantastic. So our industry is not going anywhere, and really just to show how thriving it is, especially in the UK and in Europe. So really kind of coming and studying in this part of the world is a fantastic thing to do. And this is just some of the ideas that you might want to go into. So this is what we sort of call the pillars of the music industry. So we have our artist here, and all of the people that kind of work around that artist or to support that artist or to really make them successful. So you've got people like booking agents, you've got lawyers, you've got tour managers, a vocal coach, live trainer. We've also got online retailers, session players, record producers. If we go over to the record company pillar, you've then got people like your press, A&R, marketing, label manager, and then into publishing, library music, video game music, radio adverts. This is just some of the sort of the job opportunities that you can really move into after you have studied a course at BIMM. And actually, you don't need to decide now what you want to do. I definitely didn't know when I started what I wanted to do. And actually, I think a lot of us, I think 71% of the music industry are self-employed. So a lot of us dip in and out of a lot of these things on different days, which I really enjoy. I really enjoy being a session player one day and going into being a vocal trainer, and then also sort of doing some tour management stuff and sort of media plug. It's all encompasses everything. But there's so much out there in relation to the music industry for you guys to explore and hopefully find out what you love while you're studying as well. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview now of our single honours courses. I will talk to you a little bit about the popular music performance and the music business and events courses, very much an overview. There is a lot more information on the website. So really, I would encourage you to, if I say something today or you look at a module and you sort of think, I would really want to know more information about that, you absolutely can go away and look at that on the website as well. So this is our undergraduate BIMM popular music performance course. And it's really providing you with that high level technical skills that will really give you that diverse range of skill sets in different settings. So perhaps solo performance, ensemble performance, studio performance, and arranging and composing. I would say all of our students, even on a single honours performance course, we all learn basic production, because ultimately the industry, that is what it requires now if you want to be a successful kind of a performer, and then you can kind of go on and branch out. But although we are studying performance, which is at the fundamental part of our course, you are going to be learning a bit about the music industry, a little bit about kind of how to be that self-sufficient professional musician, which is really, really exciting. And again, just some of the job roles that you might go into as part of this course. Now, you saw the artists such as Alumni, Izzy Bizou, who all came from the BIMM popular music performance course. So it's not just about becoming a session musician or a music teacher. You can go down an artist pathway as well, but you could also be an arranger, composer, or a producer. You could be a content producer. You could be a theatre musician. You could be an academic, an artist management, music teacher, or a session specialist. So that's just some of the sort of variation of job roles that you could explore via this course, which is really exciting. I'm going to kind of just give you an overview. This is just some of the topics that we look at, okay, on the performance course. And again, these are all on our website. If you want to go away and look at these, I would really encourage you to go away and look on the website, because you can scroll over and it tells you a little bit more about every single one of these modules. So it's really going to give you an in-depth insight. But you can see here just some of the topics and subjects that you're going to be looking at. Performance skills, so live performance in a band setting. Core instrument skills is vocal techniques or guitar techniques or drum techniques, really learning the fundamentals of your instrument. You can see that when you go on to your second year and your third year, you get optional modules. So that's when you can really choose the modules. And this is the same principle across all of our courses, actually. But you can really then choose the modules that suit you. So even when you don't know, or if you're not too sure what you really want to, what pathway you want to go down, you know that you love performing, but that you sort of really want to then branch out further, and actually you've really enjoyed the music production elements, you can see that you can take some music production modules, so vocal capture and production, or creating sample libraries, for example, or the more academic routes such as film studies, psychology of music, culture and society, and go down the more sort of academic pathway. So every student will create their own sort of bespoke course while they're at BIMM with the optional modules that you take. We'll come back to these later because this is about joint honours, but we're going to kind of skip through these. And I'm going to hand over to you, Jake.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Jake. I look after the music production interviews. I'm one of the assessors. I run my own studio, which is where I'm sat now. So, yeah. So we offer 2 music production courses at BIMM. Each one has a slightly different ethos. So our electronic music production course is, let's say, more in the box production. So things and genres that use a lot of synthesis and sampling and programming and MIDI work. So, you know, be that trap, hip hop, R&B, modern pop, all that kind of stuff. So, and then we have our music and sound production course, which is more outside of the box. So you look at studio engineering. But yeah, so talking about our music and sound production course first. Oh, both are on there. Awesome. So that's all right. So the main difference in the courses, like I said, is music and sound production, more outside of the box, more studio skills, more looking at studio engineering, recording, learning how to mix and master, but more in an outboard kind of way, in more of an analog world. Whereas our electronic music production course works mainly in the box. So if you are working within one of those genres where you are doing more electronic stuff, so like I said, trap, hip hop, rap, you're programming your own drums, you're creating your own samples, you're, you know, using a lot of synthesis, maybe you're kind of going in depth with things like Serum and Massive and stuff like that, then electronic music production is probably going to be the way to go. If you are more into like the band recording type thing, getting an amp, shoving a mic on it, shoving some mics on drum kit, like I've got back there, then the music and sound production, of course, is probably going to be the best way to go as well. What's cool is our interview process for music production. It covers both. So if you're not quite sure which one you should be going for, then that's something we can definitely help you decide. So during the interview, we'll kind of talk about what genres you like to work in, what your career goals are, and we'll work through them. Awesome. Next slide, please, Liz. Bam. Oh, hello.
It's coming. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. So there is a bit of overlap in the courses. And in your first year, both courses actually have exactly the same modules. So everyone does some recording skills. Everyone does the basics of production. So looking at EQ, compression, reverb, like your real core skills, and everyone does mixing as well. And the only difference between that first year is the kind of context and ethos. So again, with the electronic music production course, when we're looking at recording, we'll be mainly focused on vocal recording and maybe miking up instruments, so you can kind of get them into your hip hop track or your dance track or whatever. Whereas with music and sound production, when we're looking at recording, we're going to look at more the typical sort of rock band setup. So being able to mic up a kit. But yeah, there is in the first year a lot of overlap, but it's the second year where it kind of gets a bit different and you get lots of different optional modules that are a bit more pertinent to the kind of genre and career you want to work in. So, like I said, there's a bit of overlap. So you can see on this slide that it's all about context, really. So whether you're wanting to work in the electronic genres or the sort of analog world, you know, we all use plugins regardless of what you work on. So working as a sound designer, music software developer, game sound and music. Game sound is the most lucrative music production industry in the world at the moment, and we have a game sound module available, which is fantastic. Interactive and VR, again, regardless of genre, everyone's moving to things like Dolby Atmos and spatial audio. So we have a mixing in 5.1 and 7.1 module. Teacher, live sound, front of house. Again, if you're going out gigging, everyone needs a front of house engineer. All music needs mixing and mastering. Theatre sounds quite specific, but again, like if you look at the gamut of modern shows now, things like Hamilton, where it's based entirely around hip hop and electronic music genres, that's the kind of new route for that. So again, there is such a broad stuff, but then kind of on the fringes as well, more specialist if you're looking at doing or being an electronic artist or producer or performer. That kind of side of it's for you. If you're looking at DJing, creating your own tracks and going out into the world and playing them, that's again more the electronic side. If you're looking at being a kind of classic recording engineer or music producer, that's more the music and sound production side. And actually audio post for TV and film as well, which is such a great career. There's an abundance of jobs, especially in the UK, especially around London as well, because we've got Pinewood. We've got lots of studios that work on like language proofing stuff as well. So there's a lot of audio post-production work out there. And if you're multilingual, it's actually a really great career to kind of get into, even if you do it alongside your studies, just to earn some extra money, which is what my friends did. So yeah. I think, have I got one more slide?
No, that's you.
Oh, sweet.
Amazing. So although my specialism is more performance, I'm going to just give you a bit of an overview of sort of the business courses that we do have. So our more music business focused courses, we have music event management, music business, and music marketing, media and communication. So again, much more information on the website about this, but really just giving you the differences of these. So event management is all about that kind of that live event and that sort of real focus on being in the present moment and really kind of bringing things together. So these are some of the modules that we sort of look at, sort of live music one, booking and promotion, crowd psychology and management, and event sustainability. This is a really big topic of conversation at the moment with things like Glastonbury and the massive festivals, about actually making things much more sustainable, much more environmentally friendly, which with climate change and stuff at the moment is such a thing that's really in the headlines, I think, over the world. So really important to be looking into this. Music, media, marketing and communication is really a very innovative course about really using the digital marketing world. So using social media, sort of fans and social media influencers, artist development and PR, and really just getting that kind of new sort of current music industry communication understanding. As we said earlier, our music industry is ever changing and our lecturers are still very current within the industry. We are ever evolving our knowledge and ever updating our content to make sure that we stay industry relevant. So as sort of trends and software and sort of the different kind of norms and conventions of the industry change, the content and the courses will adapt too. And then the last one is music business, which is, I guess, an overall view of music business, including things like artist management, releasing music, music publishing, and again, with that option to really focus on the different career sort of specialisms as you go through your course. And yeah, these are just some of the jobs that you might have once you've graduated. So from the event management course, you could be an events manager, live sound and tour support, or perhaps event marketing. With music, media and marketing and communication, you could go into music journalism, product and content manager, or broadcast and new media. So again, linking in with the kind of actual other areas of the creative media as well. And if from the music business course, for example, you may go down the route of working for a record label, perhaps one of the publishing houses, or really becoming an academic and a real kind of expert on developing the music industry and the more kind of challenging areas of the music industry as well, which is great. These are our single honours courses, and this is the kind of the ethos of our single honours courses. You can now actually, we do have, sorry, let me go back. We do have joint honours courses, and it's really, really important to understand the difference between a single honours course and a joint honours course. And then I'm going to open it up for questions. So I'm going to just stop share for a second. So a single honours course and a joint honours course are very different. Now, when you study in places perhaps like America or other parts of the world, we sometimes see courses that have a major and a minor element. So you might major in one topic, but then do sort of a smaller chunk of another topic. Our joint honours are not quite like that. Our courses are 50-50 split. So you are just as much a performance student as you are a production student. So the joint honours that we have on offer are music, sort of in the fields that we've sort of discussed. The combinations thereof are things like performance and production. We also have performance and songwriting. We have songwriting and music production. We have music business and music production, I believe, music performance and event management. So there is a lots of different combinations of joint honours courses. However, it is vital to remember that you are just as much a performance student, for example, as you are a production student. So a joint honours course is not for a student that perhaps is new to a topic. So when you come into your interview or to sort of do your entry audition, you're going to need to demonstrate that you are at the same level in one topic as you are in another one, okay? So it's also really, really important to think about with the joint honours. As you saw earlier, I'm going to go back to my slides actually. No, as you saw earlier, you have sort of all of the modules come from your one topic on that single honours. On a joint honours course, you have half from one pathway and half from the other pathway, which really does mean that you need to think about what your priorities of learning are, because ultimately, if we're replacing half of your modules with another sort of course pathway, naturally things are going to be taken away and removed and put in. So really, if you are considering a joint honours, and I'm happy to take individual questions on this, and I guess we can give you a bit more of an insight if you've got specific questions, then I would say actually, I really kind of consider it. I would say if you're not sure, it's always better to prepare for both in your audition stage, because if you come in with only a single honours or like your performance audition done, and then you sort of think, actually, no, I do want to do production maybe as well, you're going to have to sort of come back and do another sort of session of an audition. Rather than if you come prepared for both, you can do them both on the same day. And even if you decide after your audition that the joint is not right for you, that's absolutely fine. That's really not a problem. And that's the whole point of your interview and your audition, is to come and see us, talk to us, and really just understand that the course that you are choosing is the right one for you.
I think it's worth saying as well, sometimes the single honours courses are actually a little more flexible for those that want to do a little bit more of everything. I think the songwriting is the perfect example of this. So on the songwriting course, so if let's say you're a songwriter and you do a little bit of music production. So you want to do a little bit of music production, but you mainly want to songwrite and perform. If you take the single honours course, which has 7 optional modules, you can do the songwriting, you can do the performance modules, you can do the music production modules, and you can do more businessy publishing modules as well. Whereas if you took the songwriting and music production course, you lose the performance component, you lose being able to do more of the kind of business publishing side of things. So sometimes actually, if you are looking at doing more than one topic, or you are wanting to learn a bit more about music production or a bit more about publishing or performance or whatever it may be, have a look at our optional modules first. And having 7 as opposed to 5 just offers a little bit more flexibility in being able to tailor the course to yourself a bit more as well. And also, you don't decide all your optional modules before you get to us. You decide them as you go along. So someone that thinks they might need music production, let's use carry on the example of a songwriter. So they might need music production. Well, maybe by their second year, they've started working with a producer they really like. So now they can use those modules, they can spend those module credits in other places to really round out their kind of learning. So yeah, so it's worth considering. Like, I think I'm the prime example of what would be a perfect joint honors student. I wish they had it when I was there, because like for me, I'm a drummer and a producer, 50-50 split. I spend 50% of my time playing drums and I spend 50% of my time working with bands producing music. So if you're kind of that internal 50-50 split, I think a joint honors is absolutely perfect for you. If you're even like 60-40 or you're not sure, then go for the single honors and go for all our amazing optional modules and really have that flexibility to be able to kind of tailor the course a little more to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to go through the questions, to be fair, now. So we've got a question saying, I've been learning how to make music using DAWs and MIDI basically all by myself, and I'm wondering if there's any necessary experience before applying for a postgraduate course. I would say it depends on what pathway you want to go down for your postgrad, because you've got the entrepreneurship pathway, the performance pathway, the composition pathway. So I would say delve into that course a little bit more, and perhaps we can kind of link you up or speak to one of our MA course leaders who will probably know a little bit more about that. But for the performance one, the thing about a postgraduate course to consider is that they tend to be much more theoretical. A diploma, our level 3 diploma, is very much a 1-year intensive practical performance course. When you've done your degree and you get to MA level, it becomes a lot more about theory and real kind of higher level thinking and higher level research. So really, again, delve back into that MA course and understand what the practical elements of the course are and what the theoretical elements are and what's right for you. You get a lot of one-to-one time on an MA, I know that for sure, and you have a mentorship throughout your whole year that you're there. So yeah, just I would say have a little look at the study topics of the masters and see what they tell you that you could do. Any experience that you've got is not going to be a bad thing. So that's what I will say. Let's have a look. Interested in, we've done the answer that question. Oh, amazing, Jake. Thank you for putting that in there. Fabulous. And I saw something about student profile. What is an ideal student profile? Here we go. What kind of image do you have for an ideal candidate profile? And really just, Jake and I think are probably going to agree on this, but you can chip in as well. But I think really just someone who has understood and gone away and done a bit of research on the course that they're applying for, number one. It is so encouraging when you guys come into an audition and we say, okay, well, what modules, what topics are you looking forward to studying? Or what are you really excited about learning? And if you can really tell us, and you've been on the website, you've done your homework, you understand that that is the right course for you, then absolutely you are already showing us that you've really taken the time and dedication to really prepare for this interview. Of course, we want to see skill in whatever your field is. So whether that is songwriting or performance or production, but also that understanding of what you've done. So really being able to talk about, I know for your interviews, Jake, you do really ask them about when they're looking at your projects of, well, how did you do that and what did you do? So come prepared, especially in your songwriting ones, come prepared sort of to do a little bit of kind of discussion on your pieces as well. And I guess just really showing your best version of yourself, really. Don't come unprepared. Read the guidelines. I know Jake's just put the link in there properly. Because this is kind of really preparing you for that university level life. Because ultimately, it's very different to school. It's very much autonomous. You are in charge of your learning. So if you can come into an audition or into an interview and really demonstrate that level of kind of professionalism and maturity, as well as sort of a passion and a real drive for what you do, for me as a course leader, that is the gold dust. We love to see that. Jake, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, again, like just reiterating the things that Liz said, I think the most important thing for me is, in an ideal candidate, is someone that understands it's a university course. So you know, and I think it's such a special thing about BIMM as well, is we don't want everyone to make or produce or work in the same genres. We don't want everyone to be singing the same tracks or producing the same work. So the only way that we know you have done the things that you've learned in your lessons is through justification pieces such as presentations or essays or talks or whatever it may be. So approach your interview or audition with that kind of mindset. Be able to answer questions, just know yourself and know what you're doing, especially for things like production, songwriting, business. Just come really prepared. We're not going to mark you down for having notes. That's ideal. Like if you want to bring notes in, please bring notes in all day long. I love that. And screenshots.
We're not expecting you to know everything either. It's just having a bit of an understanding.
It's having that approach of just being like, okay, this is the kind of learning I'm going to be partaking in. So I need to start kind of thinking that way. And also there's a reason we structure our audition guidelines the way that we do. And that's because in this industry, all you get is briefs. And in university, all you get is briefs. So it's about another layer to the interviews or auditions is actually showing us that you can work to a brief. You've read the guidelines, you've prepared everything that needs to happen. That shows us that you're ready for the level of academia that you're undertaking, that you can meet.
That's such a good point.
Aspects. So yeah, my ideal candidate comes prepared. They know their stuff. They're super passionate, but it's music. We're all passionate about it. And also I have such a good chat with people in my auditions. I get to listen to music I've never listened to before and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, just love it. That's kind of my thing. Come prepared and absolutely love it.
And come with questions as well. If you've got questions like about the course, that's a perfect time. And if you're sort of saying, I'm not really sure, I can see there's just another question in the chat about, I'm not sure if it's this one or that one. Have this, you get like an hour one-to-one with your assessor. It's almost like a little bit of a mini teach. So be open to feedback, because we're going to be giving you that constructive support on your work and how you can improve further, as well as really sort of coaching you into what is the right course for you. Just to that question with student C, I'm interested in the popular music performance and the popular music performance in songwriting. Can you join after an undergraduate course? I think that question was answered above, but Alice, or please correct me if I'm wrong, in Japan for 1 year, is that right? Leaving school cert?
Yep, they only need the, in Japan, they have this upper secondary leaving certificate. So if they get a certain mark, I think it's the maximum is 5. So if you get 3 out of 5, then you'll be able to join us straight away on year 1 without doing a foundation or diploma.
Fab, amazing. Yep. And do you need to audition for both courses? Yes, but you can do it in the same audition. So for example, in the one session, you will prepare the performance side of the audition and the songwriting side of the audition. So
depending on what courses you go for.
Yes, very true. You will be very pleased to know that I don't assess music production. That's not what anybody wants, because I'm absolutely not very good at it. But you will sometimes find that you'll have 2 different assessors in the same day, or you'll do one on Zoom and then maybe one in person. So we make sure that the person assessing you is really the right person. However, yes, there is an option to do it at the same time, or it might be just slightly near each other.
Yeah,
and is it possible?
Go on. I was to say, if it's something like production and songwriting, I assess for the joint honors for that. And also sometimes they'll book you in, even if you're looking at doing 2 single honors, they'll kind of book you in for the same session with 1 tutor as well. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, again, we all have different specialisms. So for example, I do all of them apart from production. So I can do performance and business, performance and events, but I'm going to tap out of the production ones. And is it possible to change the course after you've joined? Yes, we have a small window where you can change at the beginning. If you sort of get to week 1 or 2 and you sort of go, no, do you know what, I've made the wrong decision, it is the other one that I wanted to do, there is that small window, and it's only because it doesn't compromise your learning. When it starts to compromise learning, if you're missing things, that's when we say to wait. There's also another opportunity after the first year. However, because there's so many optional modules, we don't really get a lot of course changes after year 1, because you can make your own sort of bespoke course anyway. But yes, there is a possibility. However, we just want to get it right first time. So hopefully once you've had your audition, you'd come away feeling more confident about actually what is the right course for you.
I think that's such an important point as well. Like the auditions, as much as they're for us, they're also for you. And we all work in different facets of the industry, and we just want to make sure everyone gets to the right place. So earlier when I was saying like we have 2 production courses, sometimes I get people apply for electronic music production, but all they do is like record rock bands. So again, we can advise them that maybe it's this one. In the same way, I get people apply for music production, but I'm like, once we start talking, it becomes clear that maybe they'd be better for the performance course or songwriting or something else. We're not just going to nod and say yes and kind of put you wherever. We want to make sure, get it right, get you in the right place and the right kind of learning. The best advice I ever got was that music courses, there are so few sessions where I'm talking like sessions like out in the world or gigs or whatever, that people will want to see a certificate, that you should look at them as if they're a toolkit. So the best thing you can do is go on our website, look at all the modules and treat them as a toolkit, and just say to yourself, are these the tools I think I'll need to do the job I think I'll end up in? And that's the best way. And to that's why we kind of want to get it right off the bat and make sure you're going to the right places. Make sure that you've got the right tools to do the job.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Love that. Any more? I'm kind of finished. I'm just going to throw it out for any more questions, really.
Yeah.
I think there's just one more coming through, but it's in Japanese, so we're waiting for some translations there.
All right.
Thank you.
You do a great many things, but that's the one, unfortunately.
Yeah, my Japanese. Yeah, absolutely.
A bit rusty.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, student A.
Is it okay for you? Sorry, is it okay for you to translate the last question? There's a last question there.
Yeah,
in
the
Japanese.
last question. Of course. 在学中自分の音楽を聴いてもらうオーディションの機会はありますか？そうですね。Translate 難しいですね。And while I am taking course, do we have a lot of opportunities for audition to have my music like listen to?
Yeah, so we have lots of auditions for sort of performances in-house, so where we have showcases and events and performances, but we also have an amazing events and career team who run artist and development tutorials, who put on performances outside. So for example, we had a lot of students last Friday in Spotify's head office with their A&R team, listening to their original material, getting feedback, getting kind of real sort of one-to-one. We also have people come in and come in and do some A&R stuff in-house. So yes, absolutely. And the events and career team are really, as well as your lecturers and your course leaders, are really, really, really pushing you guys to do that a lot, which is great, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, they do feedback sessions as well, where you bring in, and not just with our events team, but with A&R producers, like outside, like big labels, and you bring them your music and you go, okay, what do you think? And they go, okay, well, if we were going to sign this, it would need X, Y, and Z. And then you could take that feedback away and work on the track. And also we've had people who end up on those labels and end up on gigs and sessions through those kinds of things. So it is important to be constantly pushing your work out there. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunities for you to
there's opportunities if you go and take them, for sure. Any more?
もしよかったら他に何か質問があれば、ぜひチャットからお知らせくださいね。I would like to add some explanation about the upper secondary school leaving certificate thing, because it's not very familiar term in Japanese, so I would like to add some comments on that. さっき、ファウンデーションコースなしに、ジョインできますかっていうような質問がいくつかあったと思うんですね。で、その時の答えで、アッパーセカンダリースクールリビングサティフィケートがあれば大丈夫みたいな答えがあったんですけど、何のことですかって思われてるかなと思ったので、説明を加えさせていただくんですが、このアッパーセカンダリースクールリビングサティフィケートって何かって言ったら、日本の高校の卒業証明書のことなんですね。なので、日本の、もう普通の日本の高校と言われるような、普通科みたいな学校やコースっていうのを卒業していれば、そのままファウンデーションコースなしに、イヤー1に、大学1年生にそのまま入れるよっていうことを言ってくださってたんですけど、その時に必要になる成績っていうのが、3 out of 5なので、5段階中の3段階評価っていうのが必要っていうことです。そこの成績に大きく足りてないだったりとかってなると、またファウンデーションコースからっていう、ファウンデーションコースを経由して入学するということもご検討いただくことになるかもしれないんですけれども、はい、5分の3あって、で、日本の普通の高校と言われるようなところを卒業していれば、ファウンデーションコースなしに大学1年に直接入学できるっていうお答えでしたので、説明を加えさせていただきました。他に何か質問があれば、どうぞお知らせくださいね。So question from me, you accept direct application, right? So do you need application fee?
There's no application fee. It's free of charge.
Okay.
So students could actually apply online, or as you as the agent could actually submit the applications through the agency application portal as well.
Okay. And you accept through application through UCAS for UG?
Yes, for UG, we accept UCAS applications as well. So students can choose to apply through UCAS or direct. It's up to them.
There's application fee for UCAS, so maybe
There
direct application is
there is
better.
an application fee for UCAS, that's right.
All right. Thank you. 今話してたことなんですけど、このBIMM インスティテュートのアプリケーションを願書を作成しましょうってなった時に、大学の場合はUndergraduate の場合は UCAS っていうシステムからアプライすることができるんですけど、UCAS って出願料がかかるんですね。提出するときにクレジットカードで支払うんですけど、でもダイレクトエントリーって言って、この BIMM のウェブサイトから直接願書を提出するっていう方法もできるんです。選べるんですね。で、その場合は出願料がかからないから、UCAS で送ると出願料が数千円かかってしまうんですが、こっちだったらフリーオブチャージですよねっていう話をしていました。で、大学院の方の場合は UCAS っていうシステムは使わないので、必然的に誰でもそのホームページからアプリケーションを作成するっていう形になるんですけれども、その場合もちろん出願料はかからないっていうことですので、無料で出願できますよっていう話ですね。何かありますか？ありがとうございます。はい、another question. 大学在学中、イギリス、台湾、アメリカに留学した経験があるのですが、このような留学経験の挑戦を出願時にアピールするのは有効なのでしょうか？いい質問ですね。出願時にってことは、パーソナルステートメントでとかっていうことかなと思うんですけど、So another question is, ありがとうございます。So student A is thinking of applying for PG course, post-master course, right? And while she was going to a university in Japan, she had an experience for studying abroad in the UK and Taiwan and America. And so she had a lot of challenges in those three countries. And when she makes an application, how can she include those experience to how to say, make her application better?
Do you mean in terms of sort of professional experiences or in terms of sort of, what do you mean, sorry?
I don't think she has professional experience in those countries.
So you
Maybe
mean
she
just like a
studied
study
abroad.
experience?
Yeah, study abroad experience.
Well, you can put that on your application form, like put that down obviously to say that you've studied abroad before. And if you've got challenges obviously while you're studying, we have an amazing student support team who can really work with you to kind of, I guess, guide you through the pastoral and the non-curricular parts of your university life. That's one thing I think we do really, really well, is actually that student support element. So if you have got any problems or sort of questions, because it is challenging studying abroad and moving somewhere new, the student support team are there to help you, definitely.
Do you think?
I think if they're talking about before or as part of their application, there's a big personal statement component.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like any experiences you've got anywhere in the world, we want to hear about them. So make sure you get them into your personal statement. And it might be something that your PG Cert interviewer talks to you about as well.
So is it better for her to include those experiences in her personal statement? Do you think it works? Do you think it's useful for her to put those information in her personal statement? Or
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
書いてもらって大丈夫みたいですね。確かにいろんなエクスペリエンスがあるのであれば書いてもらったらいいんですけど、その経験がどのようにその志望するコースに生かされているかっていうのもすごく大切だと思うんですね。なので、例えばBIMMインスティテュートに出願するっていう場合はやっぱりミュージックに強い学校ですので、その留学した経験っていうのももちろんアピールしたかったらしてもらったらいいんですけれども、その留学経験がどのようにその音楽協会に興味を持つきっかけになったのかとか、っていうところが紐づけられるのであればもうちょっと強いかなと思いました。留学しましたっていうだけじゃなくて、その留学で例えばこういう仲間に出会って、その仲間と出会うことによって音楽業界にさらに興味を持つきっかけになったんですっていうようなご自身のバックグラウンドのアピールだったりとか、そういったことであれば書いた方がいいなと思いましたね。
I've just put a link in the chat to our personal statement guide, which it's mainly aimed at like UCAS applications, but it's just brilliant for all personal statements. It just gives you an idea of things to include.
Thank you so much. ありがとうございます。その他あと少しだけなんですけれども、時間があとちょっとだけあるので、もしもう少し聞きたいこととかあったら、遠慮なくお知らせください。もしなかったら今日はこれで終わろうかなと思うんですけれども、皆さんお忙しいところご参加くださってありがとうございました。I think this is all for today. Thank you so much for joining the seminar. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. 皆さんもありがとうございました。これからBIMM に出願しようかなっていう思ってらっしゃる方は、ぜひSIUK の無料のカウンセリングとかもご予約いただいて、留学の準備をしていきましょう。Thank you so much everyone for joining this seminar today. Bye.